What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel, coming at you with yet again another perfume experience and continuing with the Ensar Oud theme, in particular the samplers applicable to their ouds in terms of the oud swipes. Today I have one of their ouds that is actually sold out on the website, and it is a sampler of that, and that oud is Aroha Kyaku. Now, I'm not sure which year and which batch this is, but to the best of my knowledge, this is a Maroc, and there is the last iteration available on the website is a 2020 from Thailand. And let me show you guys how. Whoa, okay, that's what I'm always worried about. Let me show you guys what it looks like. Hopefully the camera can capture that. Do you see that thick resinous molasses goodness at the bottom and at the top? That's the good stuff right there. And just for those of you that get really hung up on the label, if I can get the camera to focus. Okay, never mind. All right, so Aroha Kyaku. So what we're gonna do is we will, I just need to take a breather. We will get into the musing and the notes of the Ensar Oud websites. With these ouds, they tend to be really complex for me to speak to them, so I lean a bit on the musing and the notes, and then I'll get through an experience with you guys again, smelling it out of that little vial, just because I don't have a lot of it and I'm keeping it, and like I said, it's sold out, and who knows when they'll have it again. They probably will have it soon, but you know, just in case, I would like to preserve the little smidge I have. Okay, and as per tradition on this channel, and given that it's still daytime and not evening as of the time of this recording, I've got my cafe. For you guys that are curious about the beans, today's beans are from Honduras, so here we go. Yeah, that's the good stuff. Oh, I'm not sleeping tonight. All right, let's get started. Let's see. So, Aroha Kyaku. So the origin is Maroc, Thailand, and the vintage is 2020. And like I said, this is sold out. They have a note. This product is currently out of stock and unavailable. Okay. So basically, the music goes along these lines. Incense addicts, listen up. Copper connoisseurs, come even closer. How to defruitify copper distilled oud oils seems like an impossible job, especially if you're distilling Aroha Krasna. It's like trying to turn apple juice into Earl Grey. But why on earth would you want to tone down the fruits in the first place? Crafting artisanal oud oil isn't about clinging onto tradition, nor is it about designing new distillation setups. It's about discovery. Whatever it takes, if it means using old school equipment, so be it. If we need to inaugurate new distillation methods, we're all on board. To craft Aroha Kyaku, we used a traditional distillation setup from which nobody would expect anything but honey and fruit. We fired up gas-heated copper stills and ground up some of the finest krasna. The only problem, discovery, was that, wow, we must have distilled krasnas from another planet. And then basically he has this image of fumes, and in it says, choke full of smoky, spicy, sweet surprises, spicy and smoky oud oil, smooth and gradual progression, incense-grade shavings, pure Maroc agarwood resin. And then it continues, all right, I'll confess, maybe the setup wasn't all that traditional. The crazy introverted dark incense profile we unlocked in what otherwise should have been a playful breed of Thai fruitiness might have something to do with the water we use for distillation. Instead of using a single water source, we used earth water from a selection of different local wells. Then again, It might also have to do with us collecting krasnas from several distinct mountains. Or was it the addition of glass filtering to complement the copper? The use of two different sets of condensers must have played a role too, I'm sure. So as you guys can see, at this point, you're as a customer paying for an experiment, okay? That you don't even know which variable attributes to your oil because there was no control procedure in place. It's interesting. Anyways, let's continue. At the end of the day, it wasn't about toning down the fruits at all. It wasn't just about trying new distillation tweaks either. All we cared for was to crack open uncharted scent profiles, olfactory notes that lay dormant in a copper pot nestled in a krasna crust, to bring you artisanally crafted organic oud oil that goes so hard against the grain you can literally smell the friction. The lack of fruits of our exclusive distillation techniques is an oud fragrance that breaks all the rules. There are no fermentation notes nor any metallic undertones. No dustiness, no fresh off the still twang. You'll smell spicy oud smoke instead of dried figs, purple berries infused with bubbling agarwood resin instead of apricot jam. The scent progression is smooth and gradual and the silage unintrusive. This Aroha contains incense-grade shavings off of the same level as Oud Kyaku, and what it does contain that Kyaku does not is high-grade cayenne or cayenne. Pure Maroc agarwood resin, liquefied and heated, a la EO's unparalleled technique. Choke full of unfruity, smoky, spicy sweet surprises, in Aroha Kyaku, you've got one bedazzling bottle of oud. And that is it for their descriptive and musing. So basically it's incense, smoky, purple berry are the main themes here, you guys. And before we start sniffing and whiffing, we got some coffee. All right, and pray for me because yours truly is very clumsy. And oh man, this is why I don't have swipeable ouds, because this gives me anxiety, you guys. All right, let's see. Oh man, wow. This is okay. So again, the one thing that quickly stands out to me before any of the other notes is the antiseptic facet. It's so prominent in these ouds, and I'm not really sure again why the description on the website does not capture this as a note or even as a facet in the description, because it is very strong off of the top and in the opening. And for those of you that want to know what it smells like, there's a cleaner that's used in Europe, Asia, and Africa, to the best of my knowledge, and even the Middle East, and you can get in some select stores in North America. It's called Dettol. Okay, it's an antiseptic cleaner, all-purpose, and that's what that opening note smells like. So whenever I refer to antiseptic, if you can get your hands on a bottle of Dettol, if you've never smelled an antiseptic note in oud, that's what it smells like. And it's very interesting because it's like, another way to describe this in terms of what an antiseptic smells like, it's like when you go into an emergency room in a hospital or just the hospital. That antiseptic scent hospital has, that's what this is. That's what you get with these ouds. And it's quite amazing that this is something that exists in nature. Now, I don't know the science behind it or the connection to actual antiseptic cleaners, but I would wonder, given that oud is created as a reaction, sort of an immune-based reaction to protect the tree, if oud oils actually have medicinal antiseptic properties, like not just in the smell, but the actual performance of being antibacterial, antiviral. Anyways, so that's very prominent in the opening, you guys, that antiseptic facet. Now, in terms of smokiness, yes, it does have a nice smoky profile in there, and it's very pleasant, very warm, very rich, dark, and does have a touch of almost fruity honey to it. I know he was saying in the description and I'm using that the distillation technique used was intended initially to remove the fruitiness, but you get a slight fruity honey touch in here. Wow. Now, in terms of incense, I can see that. There is an incensey quality to this. Again, it's not overbearing smokiness, but a really nice Japanese incense stick kind of quality is here. Purple berry, yes, I can see that, but in terms of the berry in here, you're not thinking blueberry or raspberry, thinking more along the lines of blackberry, okay? Now, I do get also a very, there's something in here it's a different scent, but I'm not able to quite put my nose on it in terms of how to describe it. It's not animalic, but there's like this dirty facet to it in the back, sort of the base note. So in the back of the scent profile, there's a slight touch of dirtiness, kind of like a, and I know this is gonna sound bad, but kind of like a wet mop. So if you took a mop that you cleaned with and you left it soaking in the bucket and it kind of creates a scent, there's a slight hint of that on the back of the profile. It's not bad at all, nor does it ruin the oil, because it's very good in terms of that antiseptic, smoky, incensey, purple berry, like you described. That is very accurate. But you have this touch and hint of dirtiness in the back. Oh wow. This feels very medicinal, you guys. Like very healing, very calming, very relaxing. And yeah, in terms of like consistency, it's very molasses-like, very thick, and very heavy, which I really, really like in these ouds. So I think that is it in terms of describing the sense profile wise. The beauty of this one ingredient based ouds is that, you know, they're very simple, very straightforward, and interestingly is that all of them that I smelled from Ensar have this antiseptic quality to them. And again, I'm not sure if that's a byproduct of the distillation process or the actual tree has that scent quality to it. Those of you that know more about ouds, do let me know in the comments, because again, this is a completely new territory for me. But with that said, let's get into some deets, some details. In terms of performance, again, and I'm speaking here from the point of view of my own skin, this isn't a beast mode kind of a scent. This is going to be a skin scent that's given the nature of the oud being swipeable. So in terms of projection, trail, and sillage, it will be there for a very long time, but it's going to be on your skin, okay? So you're going to actually have to raise your arm or get close to your neck wherever you swipe the oud to smell it. For people to actually pick on it, they need to enter your vicinity, and they actually need to get very close to your skin to pick on it. Now, I will say this, I've just opened the little vial and closed it, and I'm sitting here and I'm getting wafts off it towards my face. So it is possible, depending on your skin chemistry, that this actually can project far out, but by no means is it beast mode, or by no means is it gonna be super strong. It's gonna be reasonable and decent, which is really good. In terms of how you would wear this, again, this isn't something you wear for attention. It's not something you wear for compliments. It's something you wear for yourself. It's something you wear for your soul, really, as a healing sort of scent to help you relax, take it easy, distress, and that's really what you're gonna do with a scent like that. You're not gonna wear this to a nightclub. You're not gonna wear it to the office. You're not gonna wear it to an outing. It doesn't lend itself to these. This is a very spiritual, almost religious-like experience, bottled, yeah, a scent in a bottle is what I meant to say. And that's really how you need to think about these scents. At least that's how I would. Okay. So that's where this sits in terms of functionality and utility. Now, in terms of seasonality, again, what I find is really great about the Ensar Oud oils that I've gotten my nose on so far is that they tend to be very easy to wear across seasons. So I think with this one, you'll be actually very comfortable wearing it in the summer, spring, fall, and winter. And I say that because the oud in here, even though it's resinous and molasses-like, it's not heavy, it's not overbearing. The smokiness and incensey facets in here by no means are overpowering. They're very subtle, understated, and undertoned. There's just enough of them in there for you to enjoy the oil without them being overkill and to the point where you would suffocate in a very hot weather, okay, or in hot temperatures. So I'm gonna say that this wears very well across all seasons, and in terms of time of day, this will wear very well in the morning, afternoon, or evening. Again, so these oils I find from Ensar are very versatile in that way when it comes to seasonality and timing of day for wear. Last but not least, in terms of your attire, are you going to be formal, casual, semi-casual, semi-formal? And I'm going to say this. This is something for you. This is a treat for yourself. This is your way of saying thank you to yourself. This is your way of healing yourself from a long day of work, okay? Or a long day of dealing with problems. This is your treat. This is how you disconnect and relax. So if you're gonna do that, you wanna be in a cozy, comfortable, relaxed environment, dressed comfortably, loose clothing, okay? You're not gonna wear a suit with this. You can, but I mean, it's not that kind of scent. Dressing casual, again, not really for it, okay? And anything in between, neither. I'm talking like you want a big, baggy, double XL white t-shirt and your shorts or your lounge pants, and you're sitting relaxing, taking life in and taking, your successes in and taking the hardships of the day or the week in, and just, disconnecting from them, looking at them as if you were a third party and saying, okay, it is what it is, and moving on with your life and then relaxing, okay? That's that kind of scent. Now, would I recommend this? Yes, 100% yes. If you're into smoky, incensey, purple berry, resinous antiseptic ouds, get your nose on this, get your wallet on it, and have it in your collection. You won't regret it. Now, the last vintage available on the Ensar Oud website, which is the 2020, is sold out, and it doesn't look like they have any in stock. So you guys are out of luck until they have it again. If you manage to get your hands on some on the second market, by all means do so. But I'd imagine once they have it back in stock on Ensar, they're actually increasingly offering samples now, which is really good. So people actually get to test what they're committing a huge amount of money to before they actually pull the trigger. So that's great. So right now this is sold out, and who knows when it's going to come back again. But if you fancy those notes and facets I've mentioned, if you fancy straight up oud that's not adulterated or mixed with anything else, this is going to be your jam. Okay? With that said, I'm going to wrap it up here, you guys, as per usual. Very much appreciate your time and attention, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.